Today we're going to talk about how to record an acoustic guitar using one or a couple of microphones. When it comes to recording, there's not really a right or wrong way of doing it. Providing it sounds good to you and it sounds good to the artist that you're working with, that's what really matters. So these techniques are a great way to start, but make sure that you experiment and find out the technique that works best for you. The first thing that you're going to want to do is ensure that the guitar has some reasonably new strings and is tuned properly, as well as being positioned in the best sounding part of the room. Before you get set up, you'll need to decide what type of mics you want to use. Acoustic guitars generally contain a lot of high frequency information, so if you want to ensure that you pick up the full frequency range, you'll probably want to use a condenser microphone. However, there are no rules to which microphone you should use, so use whatever you have access to and experiment with the sound. So today we'll be using the EVO SR1 condenser microphone. This has a cardioid polar pattern, which means it picks up sound well from the front, but rejects it from the rear and the sides of the mic. We'll connect this to an EVO 4 audio interface using the XLR connection. We also need to make sure that we set the optimum level to avoid any distortion or clipping, so we're going to set it to peak around -10 dB. On EVO 4, we can use the Smart Gain function to do just that, by pressing the Smart Gain button, and then pressing the mic channel, and then pressing the Smart Gain button again. Then we have the guitarist play the most dynamic part of the piece, and Smart Gain will make sure the level is set perfectly. One less thing to worry about when recording. Different parts of an acoustic guitar offer different characteristics of sound. In general, the neck will be full of lots of high frequency content, while the bottom of the body, below the bridge, will give a much richer sound, with less defined high frequency. You may be tempted to try and put a mic directly in front of the sound hole on the guitar, however this will give you a very boomy, low frequency sound that's generally not that nice to listen to. So a great starting point for a single microphone is 6 to 12 inches away from the 12th fret of the guitar. This will typically give you a balanced and natural sound, picking up a mixture of the high frequencies from the neck and the lower frequencies from the body. Alternatively, for a more mid and bass heavy tone, you can try placing the mic 6 to 12 inches from the body, just below the bridge. This can often complement a vocal track where the singer has a higher register voice, as the higher frequencies won't be competing with each other. So you may be wondering why you don't put the mic closer. After all, the closer you are, the louder it will sound, and the less you'll have to boost your signal. However, there are two important factors to consider. Firstly, with directional mics, such as the SR1 that we're going to be using, recording a source from too close can result in what's known as the proximity effect, which increases the bass frequencies picked up by the mic, and can leave you with an unbalanced sound. Secondly, when the mic is placed too close, it can limit the sound that you're getting from the guitar, preventing you from getting the full sound of the instrument, as well as reducing the interaction the guitar has with the room you're in, making it sound unnatural and sterile. So these two positions will give you a mono recording, meaning only one channel of audio is captured. Using two mics in a stereo setup can add depth and width to your recordings, as well as creating a fuller picture of the instrument. For these examples, we'll be using a pair of small diaphragm condenser microphones. The first technique is called a spaced pair, which effectively combines the two mono placements together, with one mic around the 12th or 14th fret and another towards the body. When using a spaced pair technique, it's typically recommended to follow the 3-to-1 rule, meaning the distance between each microphone should be at least 3 times the distance the microphones are to the guitar. This is to help prevent an issue called phasing, which can seriously affect the sound of your recordings due to timing differences between the guitar and the mics. Next up is panning. Often people will pan each mic hard left and hard right to spread the guitar throughout the stereo field. This is a good place to start, but feel free to experiment. The next common technique is a coincidental pair, sometimes called an XY pair. For this technique, you want to place each microphone with their diaphragms as close as possible to avoid any phasing issues. The microphones should be 90 degrees to each other in front of the 12th fret. This way, one of the mics will pick up the high frequency content from the neck, and the other will pick up the warmth of the body. When mixing these, you would generally not pan these as extreme as with the spaced pair. All of the techniques we've gone through are a great starting point to experiment with, whether you play around with the distance to the guitar, the position in front of the guitar, or even the particular mics. Every guitar will sound different, as well as the room that you're in. So the key thing is to trust your ears and listen out to what sounds best to you and get creative with it. If you have a go-to recording technique for recording acoustic guitar, then let us know in the comment section below. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, and if you want to see more tutorials, make sure you subscribe to this channel.